Hello, thank you for coming. I'd like to introduce Lindsay and Lexi Smith, who, besides their many years of research on 3D bioprinting, go back to elementary school, eating glue and exploring their digestive system, and Lindsay's deep ties with biology when she fell in the bog. So, enjoy their performance.
Thank you, Lauren.
Okay, so we did 3D bioprinting, and we looked at this. We heard about it, and it's such a broad research study, and it's so new that there's lots and lots of years in the future of looking into it. So we thought we might as well look and see what there is right now. So 3D bioprinting is like using cells that were cultured, and they put into like a revised jet ink printer, and then they print out things that can hopefully in the future be used in humans and as organs and such. So okay, so this guy, when he was 10 years old, well, before he was 10, he was diagnosed with spina bifida, which is when his bladder was paralyzed and stopped growing, so he got really sick and unable to get out of bed and walk around and do stuff. So he went to his doctor, who is Anthony Adela, who is a huge name in 3D bioprinting.
And he had already had about 15 operations before he went to this doctor, and he's the first one that kind of had the idea to do bioprinting. And so what he did was he took skin cells from his urinary tract and around his bladder, and he put them into a petri dish and had them grow and develop, and he took the printer and made a mold of the bladder, and then using both of them he developed the bladder and was able to implant it into him, and then he is now growing and developing, and he's doing fine, and he's even the captain of his wrestling team, so it helped him to be able to live, because otherwise he would have died.
The stuff that they use to print, it is a combination of a gel-like, something kind of plasticky substance that's grown with stem cells or embryonic stem cells, and they mix it together, and then they put it in the machine, and then it gets printed layer by layer, like single cell layers, and then in between them is a biofilm, and then the biofilm dissolves after it's finished, and then they fuse together, and then once it gets implanted to where it needs to be, or something like that, it starts becoming like the cells near it, and then it starts forming to its job and doing what it's supposed to be doing.
So in the top picture, they took a screening of someone who had a missing piece of their jaw, and they ran it through the printer, and the printer actually used this and printed out an exact copy of what could be replaced. So as soon as they put it in there, then after a while, it starts to grow, and it starts becoming bone, and starts matching the jaw and everything around it, and starts that function and everything. And so it's no longer this plasticky material, it grows into bone and becomes part of the body.
So these are kind of the steps that they take to do it. This was from the website of Dr. Anthony Adela, who is doing a lot of the 3D printing research. And the first two pictures are for muscles that they're growing. So the first one is muscle persuader cells and stem cells. They use stem cells, they won't use embryonic stem cells. And then the second picture is after a while, all of these cells turn into muscle fibers, and that's how they slowly grow the muscle. And then the third picture is showing the bioprinting process, where they're using the printer to print out the shape that the computer is telling it to. The third process, or fourth picture, they're showing the what they printed under a light microscope, and they're making sure there's no errors in it before they take the next steps. And then the last picture is showing what they printed in an organ bath, is what they called it, and it has chemicals, and they put small electrical jolts in it to make sure that it can survive in the correct environment if it was in the body, to see what it can withstand.
And here is just about some things that they're going to be doing in the future. Like they're going to be able to do the jawbones, and if you have like a deformed spine or you like have discs that are missing, they're able to make discs and they'll be in your body and working just the same way. And they can do the same things with hands, and then later they're going to be able to print out prosthetics for people and hips and just all these new parts that are going to be able to help us with everyday life and to just live better.
So right now, they can't take organs that they printed and put them in humans to like have them survive. So their main thing right now is like facial reconstruction. So they've done a lot of like ears and like skin grafts. And another big thing that they use for 3D printing is they'll print out an exact replica of the person who's ill, like the organ, and if it's messed up, and then they'll practice the surgery. And then they'll also like tell the patient like how the surgery is going to go, so they better understand it until they're better equipped to find out the best way to make it so it's viable in the person.
There was a young girl who had two holes in her heart, and she was missing an artery. And in order to be able to perform that surgery like quickly and efficiently without anything messing up, they actually printed out an exact replica of her heart and were able to perform the surgery, and just so like they have an experience before they go into it actually. And it also better helped the patients to understand what was going on and why they needed surgery and how they were going to do it and everything. And so it just helped them to understand and make everything run smoothly, but we're hoping that in the future they'll be able to actually implant organs in so that they can have, so they don't have to wait for a transplant, because right now there is about 114,000 people just in the US that are on the transplant list, and a lot of them don't make it and never get those transplants. So with this, they'd be able to get it faster and cheaper, and it'll save a lot of lives.